What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the Hot Seat. We are learning some new tricks and tools with the studio. So, welcome into this week's edition of Hot Seat. I'm your hostess with the mostest, P. Koffe Brown, and I'm here with my friend and business partner, Jason Thibodeau. We're in
Greetings.
the house tonight, and we're talking about an interesting topic. Got a small panel tonight. We had a couple of emergencies from our panelists tonight, and we got one more treat for you coming into the stage right now. So, as everybody's getting settled in and coming in, they'll be sharing on their platforms and their social media with you guys for tonight's segment. So, hop on in and hang out with us for this week's edition of the Hot Seat. Hello, Dr. Woods.
What's going on?
Well,
Better late than never.
See, you're tardy to the party, but yeah, that part.
I like to be fashionable. It's fashionable.
We're gonna let you slide today. You tardy though. You tardy to the party. He like, and it is what
Right.
it
You see that, right? You see,
right.
you
You see the
this.
face, like, and it is what it is.
Hey, I like to be fashionable. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be fashionably late.
Obviously. So, guys, come on in, hang out with us on tonight. We're talking about I love you, but your family don't like me. How do you address such a situation? That's what we're going to be chatting it up about on tonight. Dr. Woods, as you share to your platform so your people can come and hang out with you tonight.
I got you. You know what I'm saying? I got you.
You got it? You got to take care of? You already handle it.
I'm already on this.
You already own it. Period. Always.
I wake up on it.
So this is going to be an interesting conversation tonight because I already know about Dr. Woods' opinion on this, kind of, sort of. But we're going to hear from the fellas tonight on this. And of course, I'm going to give my 5 cents about it. I had an interesting conversation with somebody earlier today about this same topic. And he said, y'all, that he wasn't going to be dealing with something like that. He was like, that's too much pressure to have to deal with relationally when you're dating somebody and you're in the thick of things, you're getting to know your person and all that. Then you go and you kick it with the family only to find out the only person that's digging you is them. So how do you deal with that? Are you really even supposed to care? Does it matter if you love them and their family just not feeling you?
Yes and no.
No.
It depends who you are in your relationship.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Because, if you're trying to get married and everything else, then I would probably care a little bit more unless we've already been bumping heads and had some powwows, if you will. But outside of that, like Doc Woods said, I wouldn't care. As long as I'm being respectful and I'm being cordial, that's really all that's all that, I'm responsible for. As long as I respect you when I'm around you, I respect your space. That's it. If you don't like my aura or my energy, then that's on you.
I'm not marrying your family.
Right.
People say that all the time, but you can't exclude their family. You can't act like they didn't come with a family.
I'm not saying that, but you can't act like they the end all be all either.
Very true.
So how you address it then? If you literally you love a person and their family doesn't like you, what's the end all be all to that kind of scenario then? Do you just
Doc Woods?
Well, it's two different worlds, really. You are with your mate, and then you still associate with your family. Like you go over for family's dinners, you spend holidays with them, but at the end of the day, you go home. And so home is what, is the ultimate. This is where life is. Being with family is just for that time period. When you leave the home, that is no longer home. That is your mama's house. That's your uncle's house. Home is your house where you got to take care of everything, where you got to be happy and pay the bills. So,
true that.
So your mate has to tolerate it while they're there. But then when they go home, that's when you really live.
Yeah, okay. That sounds real good and lovely.
It sounds good, but if you're going to be together long term and they're close with their family, then that's still going to be some tension, unnecessary tension, one way or the other. And the reason I say that is because if they don't like you, but you still keep coming around, there's going to be tension. And if you stop coming around, you and your spouse might have tension. You know what I'm saying?
It's not
That
gonna be
equals that's
it's
heavy.
not going to be a cookie cutter cut dry situation, because if you decide you want to be with this person knowing full well that there's issues with their family, then on the other side of that is dysfunction. Period. It's
Correct.
ultimate dysfunction. You got the dysfunction of you bring people in, you bring children in the world. And then your children need to be able to connect with your family, but you got all this friction and tension between the family. You can't even bring your kids around. You're definitely not going to want to drop your children off at your family member's house, because you're going to be like, well, they don't like me, they probably don't like my kids, and so on and
But
so
why do they?
forth. So it's
Why
like
is it a need? Why is it a need to keep that saying this for them to associate? Why can't it be something you would like it?
it's
I would
called
like.
healthy.
Just an
It's called
antagonist. I'm sorry.
healthy relationships. That's what it's called. Ultimately, healthy
He's just an
relationships.
antagonist.
Yeah,
If
I'm
because
just
it's
saying,
like,
like
you're
I
gonna
would
stay
like for
clean.
them to get along. I would like for them to be included.
Correct.
But it's not like a necessity for child rearing that they have to
But
be
you
a
do
part
need
of
a
it.
yeah, but
community,
you're saying that,
or would
but
like.
any woman that has children at some point is going to want an outlet outside of you,
Correct.
True.
and you're going to want an
Want her to
outlet outside of
out of
you.
me.
True.
Yeah, you're going to need space outside of yourselves if you got children. That's just not realistic
But
to act
family's
like,
more than blood. Family's more than blood. Sometimes
okay.
you meet people and they become your family. And they become your extension. They become your help. In that sense.
But you don't think your people are gonna be in your ear trying to find out, well, hey, are you ever gonna bring the kids around? What's going on?
If you're a
Are we
member
gonna
of my
see
family,
your
they not
kids?
asking. So you,
See, there's something that you're not addressing, and I mean, the fact is that yes, you might have people outside of your family that you confide in, spend time with, that starts to become your community. But I think that she's asking the question as if you're close with your family. You spend time with your family. You like being around your family. Now, say for instance,
I mean, this is
or
not a
that
person this
your
is not a
sister,
person that's strange. This is
you know,
definitely not an estranged person. Because if it's a strange person, we wouldn't have had this conversation.
right? So I mean, I start dating your sister or something, Doc. You know what I'm saying? But then say for instance, you and your mama don't particularly care for me for whatever reason, but I like your sister and she loves being around you all the time. I don't know if you have a sister or not. I'm just hypothetical.
Because his whole face looking like, you like my sister?
Right. Right. And you see that? So he already don't like me now because I just made a hypothetical statement.
Right. And you ain't even serious. And he looking like, you talking
Right.
about my
So you
sister?
see what I'm saying? So it's like, but say you and your sister are close and y'all spend time together on the weekends watching the games or whatever. And I like football too, and football about to start. So I'm coming over there, but you don't like my aura or whatever else or something about me. And I mean, really and truly, do I care? Yes and no. I care because she does, but outside of that, do I care that you don't like me? No. But I care because she does. You see what I'm
and I'm a
saying?
person who says, hey, if you like it, I love it. As long as they ain't disrespecting you or being, abusive to you, I ain't have nothing to say.
Correct.
That's just
But
me,
I
though.
can't say you don't like me or whatever. It's something about me you don't like. Maybe you don't like the fact that I don't know, I'm just throwing something out there. I'm mechanically inclined and stuff, and you like paying people to cut the yard or whatever else. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
you just got insecurities, and I just
Or
rub
you're
your
right.
insecurities the wrong way.
Once again, if she likes it, I love it. I ain't got nothing to say.
He's so
But
full
also,
of it.
I'm not super close to my family like that. So you're talking to the wrong
But
person.
see, that's the reason why you feel the way you feel, because you're not close knit with your family. But let's
Right.
give the situation to a hypothetical, because this actually came from somebody DMing me saying, hey, I've been with this person for a while. I really, really like them, but they literally do not mesh with my family. It's like trying to pull teeth for them to be a good, they just don't fit into the equation. What the hell am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to, because at some point it's like, do I choose my family? Do I choose why do I have to be caught in the middle and have to take sides? Should
But
I
that's a
just
good
go ahead
then
question.
you
and
But
got
I
these
think
people
we
who
also
just,
need to drill down as to why do they not mesh?
and then got these people who are just
because
overly
everybody
attached.
don't though. Think
I'm
about
saying
it. Everybody
No,
overly
isn't
everybody
attached to
meant.
their family.
But
Then
they
people
ought
who
to
are
be able to
literally
mesh
overly
with
attached.
somebody in the family. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you kind of made that broad, like they just don't get along with most of the family or something.
Well, the way that he put it was the people that he needs her to be connected to, they're not bonding.
Well,
Is
I mean,
what I gather from the way he's saying it. Because otherwise he wouldn't care. So apparently he loves whoever these these people in his family are, and he loved
mhm.
this woman. But now you got to sit up here and try to figure out how to navigate through this particular type scenario. That is very challenging because think about it. If it's this is a guy. Like normally if it's a girl, a guy be like, "Don't worry about it, babe. It's gonna be all right."
Mhm.
But a man's not gonna have a man, he's gonna have to choose between the women in his family and the woman in his life. Then you got a big, huge wedge being forged right there in that particular dynamic. Then fast forward, if him and her get into a real serious relationship, and he's gonna want to have his kids around his family and stuff
Mhm.
like that, it's not gonna turn out well. And I'm like, I didn't want to say to him, well, you might want to consider because they've been together like 7, 8 months. You might want to consider if this is a person that you're going to be able to be successfully with long term. If you love your family the way you, and I can tell by his messages, he loved his family and he loved this chick, but
Which
they're
is
not
good.
getting
That would
along.
bother me. If
Well,
you're
here's the
gonna
deal.
leave me because of your family, that'd be a concern for me off the cuff anyway.
What
You
you
Well,
mean?
know, because
things that
is this person a mama's boy? Is this person, I have met people who are overly attached to their family. I met this one girl, I swear she needs to be dating her mom. They were so close. I was like, y'all
Mhm.
just need to date, because that's ridiculous.
Did you say that?
Oh man, you know me, man. I'm like, man,
I've
you need to
said
date
something
your
like
mama.
that before too. Yep. But I've actually been in that situation with two of the young ladies that I've dated in the past. With two of the two young ladies I've dated in the past.
And you're not with them today.
I'm not, but one of them we grew apart because basically I went off to college and I was a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? And then she went one place, I went another. The second one was around the college times, and my mom just didn't particularly care for her, but she took herself out the equation. I ain't have to do nothing.
And
Her
see that
and stuff took her out the equation because I had a job where I traveled. So insecurities in a job that travel don't match.
now that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
Just,
true.
but the irony is I had a talk with both of them, and I was like, what y'all will do is be cordial with each other when y'all are around each other. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Now, see,
But
I
you
think
pop
that,
off and she tear you up, then you earned it.
but that might be his resolve is to basically sit them down and say, hey, wow, I love her. I respect you, mom, auntie, whoever this is. I know
Mm,
it's got to be a woman. It can't be a dude, right?
most likely.
Causing, most
Yep.
likely it's a woman. So, like Doc said, if maybe he is a mama's boy or something like that, and he wants to make sure he pleases his mom and whatever else, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna have to do what you said, Jason, and have that sit down conversation between them and say, hey, listen, I care about both of y'all, and you guys are going to have to find a way to be respectful with each other. You don't have to be best buddies, but what you will do is be respectful with each other while you're in each other's presence and make sure that everybody feels comfortable. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a perfect
Have
scenario because
with both.
everybody ain't gonna like everybody. Let's just face it, everybody's not
Mm-hmm.
gonna like everybody. Every core person in our family is not going to like the core person that we choose to be partnered with. It's just a fact of life. It
What
is
is
what
that
it
Steve
is.
But we
Harvey
need to
book? What
drill
was that
down and
Steve
figure
Harvey
out.
book? And they made a movie about it.
Oh, you talking
And
about act like a woman, think like a man?
yeah, and the guy was dating his mama, and she picked him up for church, and they did such and such
Yeah,
together,
the mama's
and they
boy,
did such
right.
and such together. And I
Right.
was like, see, now this is that foolishness right here.
Yeah,
Right.
Saying,
that line. Yep.
yeah, because like you got the point where like you have to let go of your family and make a new family
But
over here.
but dig this. He didn't even really stand up for her for real until part 2. Act like a lady, think like a man, the second part. That's
Oh,
when
there's
he
a
really
number
put his
2?
foot down. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
remember in the first one, he didn't really put his foot down when it came to his mama. But when he got ready to marry her, she put the girl's wrong name on the wedding invitations. It was just a big old mess. And then her
Mm-hmm.
room was conjoined with their room at the hotel before they got married in
And
Vegas.
that's just weird.
I
Yeah,
don't even
so
remember there being a part 2, but anyway, I just remember him just being him pecked to
no,
his mama.
it was a part 2.
Part
And
two, bro.
he ended up having to put his foot down because his mom literally clearly was not letting up. She was just not, she wasn't trying to let go at all.
If your mama
So
going on your honeymoon with you, there's a problem.
she acted like she wanted to go on the honeymoon with him, pretty much the way
Or
she was
prevent it.
acting.
Or
You
prevent
know,
it.
Or
that's
something.
ridiculous. Why is it? I'm saying, why is it the idea of letting your family be your family, but not above your mate? Such this radical idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what
Yeah.
we're supposed to do?
But you know what's interesting
Mhm.
when I sit here and I think about this now, you know, that we sitting here talking about it right now, it brings me to the biblical component, leave and cleave. You know, when it talks about leave your family and cleave to your mate. Nonetheless, when it says that, it also talks about the core of family when you go further into it. So I'm wondering when they're talking about the leave and cleave, is it talking about from the concept of stepping out of the parental space as far as your parents having that control, having that authority? You know, you living in your parents' house, leaving that component, not necessarily leaving the ability to have that unit, because the family unit is very, very important. And you know, when you really think about it, if you're ostracized from your extended family, it's just you and your purpose person, that is going to be a lonely journey for the two of you if you don't have that camaraderie of a unity of a village. It takes a village to live life. It's not just about the kids or having kids or whatever. Something can happen. You can take ill. Your purpose person can take ill, so on and so forth. You got to have healthy outlets relationally attached to your marriage. It helps your marriage stay sustained over the long haul.
Some people don't leave their house till they 30 years old. I'm saying
Right.
eventually, I'm saying you have to move above and beyond. Because if you, let's say your house was in jeopardy, would your family fork out that money to help you pay that mortgage? Would
You
they?
better,
I'm just asking.
yeah. Anybody got no raggedy family?
Aren't mine, wouldn't? And so I'm not going to
Anybody got
concern
no
somebody who's
raggedy
not
family?
being concerned about my well-being in the long run.
Listen here. Listen here.
I don't know, maybe it's a woman thing, because I don't know no dude. Bro, was your family coming to help you with that mortgage?
Already.
See? And so I'm not going to overly put myself somewhere that somebody who's not going to help me in the long run. I live my life, you live yours. Maybe it's a female thing.
Well, that sounds real good. Live your life, live yours. But are you suggesting that you have no friends?
No, I have
You don't
friends.
have a brotherhood of community, of brotherhoods that you lean into?
But I never said you didn't. Like, I totally agree. You need a community. I have friends that I'm saying that will help me out. But I'm saying also we get along, we hang out, we do these things together. But I'm just saying I'm still not going to leave my mate for them.
True.
This is who I've chosen to walk my walk with. If God forbid my family becomes a group of, joins a cult and a group of devil worshipers, I'm gonna follow them on that path too. No,
why you gotta be so dramatic?
I'm just saying, because we're sitting like, oh, they the end all. Oh, if our mate and them don't get along, I can't be with you. No, that should not justify me not being with you. Your toes or something should justify me not being with you. Not because I don't like your auntie. Have you seen some of them feet?
I have seen some.
That should still be a discussion on what that discomfort is. If it's just because it's the mama's boy thing or not. If it's the mama's boy thing, then I agree with what the young lady said, and mama just needs to be more mature. Yeah. Or whoever the hell else.
You got some mamas living through their kids.
There's actually something. Because usually if a dude doesn't like a dude, it's probably because he's either a player or he's abusive. Or he's on drugs or something. If a lady don't like a lady, it might be a multitude.
It could be anything. With
right.
Like
she got
anything
a
under the sun.
Right here. She does, just.
She cut her eyes because when I walked in the room because I was wearing blue.
Right. Be like Koffe always wearing them old darn hoops. She
get on my nerves.
Every time I talk about, she got on some goddamn hoops.
And her hair platinum though. I'm just
saying. She
thinks she all that because her hair platinum. I'm saying my hair gold. So
She
now,
look like a round the way girl. Every time I see her, she look like I need a round the way girl.
thinking she LL Cool J.
Why you
She
bring
think
that?
she
Cool J.
LL's favorite or something.
See, that's what I'm saying though. This like to me, I guess this makes no sense to me ultimately. Like,
What you mean
because
it makes no sense? You mean the fact that you can love somebody and their family not want
no,
you?
that makes total sense. I'm saying
Okay.
that's my whole life story. But the thing of the matter is, like,
See,
not
that's why.
loving somebody enough that you can't leave yours. Like some people, like especially in this realm of single parenthood, these single women take their sons, make them what they want them to be, and they date their sons, or they're best friends with their daughters. So they hang out with their daughters, they go with the daughters. They're that much of an influence in their life, but they're not able to let them go. And so in reverse, the child's not able to let the mama go. And so now we're stuck in this realm like, oh, she's not good enough. Well, ain't nobody supposed to be good enough for your mama or daddy. Right now, I got 3 boys. Ain't no female ever going to be good enough for them boys.
You
Sandra,
don't think
who is this?
so?
Oh, I
That's what
know
you
so.
think?
Every time some little Pop Tart come in here, Sandra look at him like this.
Why the girl got to be a Pop-Tart? What is wrong with you?
Pop-Tart, bro.
A Pop Tart.
A Pop-Tart, really?
Yes, a Pop Tart. Every time they come in, little big thing come up in here, Sandra just.
I can't stand him at all. I just cannot stand
It's going to
him.
happen.
All over the place.
I'm
Oh my
telling you,
God.
like
But you said
it
that's
ain't
the-
never going to be okay, and it's not supposed to be. Because we want the best. You know what I'm saying? Because a Pop Tart, you know what I'm saying? They popping out, and they think they running something.
But you say that now, but you may run up on a young lady. You be like, now that young lady right there would be an ideal daughter-in-law for me, son. Get yourself together, son. You may run into that particular aspect where there's a young lady who is stellar, and you think that your son needs to step up, get himself together.
The one he gonna
We
put
have 2 rules. I have 2 rules for my sons. I've been teaching them since they were little. Don't get nobody stupid or ugly. Don't bring nobody stupid or ugly in this house. I'm saying, because I'm gonna have an issue. I'm gonna have a problem. I'm saying she's stupid and she ugly. She can't. No. I'm saying don't do that. Don't you dang.
Now you got Sandra on the bandwagon.
See, told you. Sandra be looking at them like they straight a problem. I'm like, Sandra, stop. Stop. You know what I'm saying? But me, they just can't be stupid or ugly. Don't you bring no stupid, ugly girl up in here. Besides that, I don't care. I don't care.
I just cannot. Y'all see what I have to deal with? I cannot with him. I can't. I just cannot.
I'm so serious. Like I'm looking at them like they crazy.
So the question that I have for y'all would be, somebody is dealing with this. Somebody is addressing this situation. How do they deal with it? Do they just walk away from their family and then say, hey, I'm going to be with you. We're going to do whatever we got to do to make it work, bump the family? Or do they really need to try to identify how they can build that unit with their person and their family and make it sustainable?
I would really look at the relationships I'm involved in if I have to pick one or the other. Because one of them is not healthy. If I got to pick my family over a lady that I'm interested in, that's a problem. If I got to pick this young lady over my family, it's a problem. We should all be able to coexist. We go into this job every day, you know what I'm saying, with people we don't know, and we coexist. So why can't we go into the world and coexist with people?
See, now you
back. As long as they're good to me.
Earlier you said you didn't care, but I mean now that's
now he making sense. Before when he talking about I don't care.
You asked me personally. Personally, I don't care. But if you ask me about this person here, what they should do, they need to look at the relationships if they can coexist.
Yes, sir.
You asked 2 different things. You asked me personally.
Jason, I don't care. Jason? Why, Jason?
But I agree with him on this fact, is that yes, if you can get along with people, code switching and everything else at work, then I mean, by all means, y'all ought to be able to get along in a space.
Right.
If you cannot, then it definitely needs to be addressed. And if you're not willing to address it with either the parent or family member and or your spouse or the young person that you're dating, then you're not mature enough to be grown anyway, because not everybody's always going to get along. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
got
And
to
they
be
have
able
to be
to
mature
talk,
enough
and
to
you
be
got
able
to
to
be
tell me
able
why.
to
Why is
have that
there a conflict?
comfortable, conversation. It might be the fact that the only reason that the thing that turned you off was the fact that you thinking you walking in there smelling like roses, and sometimes even roses smell like boo boo.
So somebody
It
just
might be something about you that it's something that simple, like a
so dig this. Somebody just
simple.
DM me. Somebody just DM me and said that they're going through this right now. The person that they're with has a tainted history,
Mhm,
and their family is just not willing to accept them. Period. They are dealing with this right now.
mhm.
But that's a judgment. Did you know about it? Did you? That's what I'm saying. If you know about this person's history before you started dating them, this reminds us of the last show we had, and y'all were like, "Oh, tell me up front." Well, if they told you up front and you're willing to accept it, but your family's not, that has nothing to do with you. That is your
I,
family's problem, not yours,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
decided to be with them. So if
but
Yeah.
your family's now going to influence
what
that,
I agree with you.
See,
That's
and
still got
now
a situation. Because
see that
we just had Easter. You mean to tell me you're just not going to go visit your family?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying these are two different relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have to cross. Yes, they do.
Yeah, that's what I'm
right,
saying.
They have
right,
to cross.
right.
But at the end of the day, I'm going home with my mate. I'm gonna tell
Mm-hmm.
my family, "Hey, mama, I love you. I'll see you later."
That's true.
And I'm leaving this one over here.
Mhm.
They should not be so intermingled that this one negatively affects this one, or this one negatively affects that one.
I wouldn't say that because if I'm with see this person that just DM me when they said their person has a tainted past, that could mean a whole hell of a lot of things when you say tainted past. And their family could feel like they could be in jeopardy of some sort to where this person has had their tainted past was a dangerous tainted past which could come back to haunt them possibly, or it could feel like the possibility of a risk for their hurt, and they could just be overprotective, if you will. Let's just say that. Let's just say the family is just being a little bit overprotective because of that person's tainted past. So that would be a little it wouldn't be the easiest thing
If little
to
mama,
accept
if she
somebody
smashed
that
little pistol starter, my cousin, my auntie, my granddaddy, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has got what I'm saying, little shorty. No, I want to know from the beginning. I want to know from the get-go. I don't want to
wait a
walk
minute, hold on,
in.
hold on.
Sometimes you don't know till you end up at the family function. All of a sudden, little cousin over there, and cousin's like, "Hey, dog, I need to talk to you about something."
See, this is why you don't wait till you're in love to introduce them to your family. You kind of just slide them through. You slide them through.
But you know what? You
That's
know
true.
what, Dot? You just brought up a good, which I was segue to that next thought and idea. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's kind of like that concept when people say, "Don't wait forever to introduce your kids. Don't just wait for some crazy extended period of time in hopes that there be a healthy camaraderie. Try to get it intermingled as soon as you possibly can instead of waiting for a long time." So, do you think that when it comes to something like this, that if they feel like, I really want my family to be a part of my life, I got this new person, I want to get them in there a little early, see if everybody mesh and everybody, can we all get along before I get into the real thick of things with this person and start this journey and it not necessarily be the best fit for my
When
life
you
ultimately?
think you can like them, when you get the little inkling that you might like this person, you should do a drive-by. You know what I'm saying? You don't fully immerse them into the family. Be like, "Hey, stop by, get a plate." You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Say
right,
hello. I'm
right,
out. And
right.
see, then you're gonna know if somebody knows this person. You're gonna see there's some path that you didn't know about. You're gonna get kind of a feeling. Because if
Mhm.
you wait until you all in love and all in light, you stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because
And
I'm
then I
telling
think
you,
about on the other side of that, like you all into this person, and now you like, I don't even know what to do because I'm all into this person, and they just and whatever the case might be, now I feel like I don't know what to do.
look, I'm gonna put my business out there, right?
Put it
Me
on out
and
there.
Booby's mother we've had a delicate past. You see? She has not always liked me. But if I had just given up on her, we wouldn't be 20-something years into this. You know, her mama, understand, there's times her mama probably wanted to strangle me, and
And
I'm
you
okay with
probably
that.
were strangle worthy, probably.
I
Knowing
probably
you.
was. I was a young man,
Still is.
So I'm old now. I'm saying I'm old. I'm a different man now. And so we had our
No, Jason said you still strangle worthy.
Probably.
Right.
I probably am.
I know
I probably am still strangle worthy. But at the end of the day, though, I didn't let it stop me in my relationship.
Oh my God.
Because I know I'm strangle worthy to this day.
You strangle worthy too, Jason?
I am. I'm gonna go ahead and use bad grammar. I'm is.
I is what I is.
So, Jason, have you had to deal with this kind of issue since you got married?
Since I've been married? No, not so much since I've been married. They actually like each other. I've dealt with it with other ladies that I've dated in the past, but I mean, these two, my moms and the missus, they seem to like each other most of the time. So,
Oh, wait a minute, y'all. She done sent me another inbox. So he was arrested.
All of us so we can all be nosy?
No. So
I'm just kidding.
he was arrested for battery towards his ex-wife. After further discussion with him about the incident, it just so happened that someone else witnessed the altercation and thought that he hit her. But unfortunately, in the state where we reside, he still was arrested and the infraction is still on his record. He's been working to get it off, but it's taken some time. And of course, I ended up sharing this with my family, which now I know I probably should not have. Since that time, they've been judging him on every hand.
And, okay, so there's the challenge right there.
There's a problem. She ran him out too much. Saying, I love your mama, booby. I love your mama. But saying, anyway.
Oh my God.
The thing of the matter is, she said too much because I know I'm in Texas. If I look at a woman wrong and she said it, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't have to do nothing except look. Like, ooh, she get on my nerves. I'm going to jail. They're going to smack me up a little bit and I ain't getting out for 2 or 3 days. Yeah. So that's understandable. But now that mama and now you said something to mama and daddy. Now they took it. Ever play that game telephone? Play that game telephone. You tell one person now he killed 3 people. He killed 4 people and beat his kids.
Anytime you say that there was some kind of situation domestically between somebody,
especially with a man being the aggressor, or
it don't matter how you try to clean it up. Somebody gonna be saying something side-eyed and crazy. They just
correct. Because here's the deal:
it ain't no way to clean that up.
Case where he had to defend himself because she was hitting him, but because somebody saw something different and the cops showed up, and all they said is somebody swung. He's automatically in the wrong. He's gonna take that ride. He's gonna be picked up. Now it's on his record. And the deal is that, I mean, you just saw at the Oscars, anybody could lose their cool at any particular time. Doesn't necessarily make you an abuser, but it also doesn't let you know the entire scenario. What if he's walking away and she's just following him? Now, some people say, well, you don't put your hand on a woman no matter what, but I feel like you're a human. And if you punch me like a dude, I'm going to hit you back like one.
You mean the back of the head with a brick, I'm going to knock you out.
I'm going to earn it if I got to take that ride. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to try everything in my power not to put my hands on anybody. Man,
let me give the disclaimer. Everything that you hear on this show is not my direct belief. So go ahead.
No.
If somebody hit you upside the head with a brick, you ain't going to let that go. I've known you for too long. You ain't just letting it slide.
Don't be bringing me into this.
You're out of here telling yourself, you're going to come right back.
Don't bring me into it.
Right. But I mean, I'm not an advocate for it, but like Chris said before, I understand sometimes why certain things happen. And this is having a mother that worked in criminal court. So I used to look at and hear about these cases all the time. You know what I mean? Domestic violence cases and everything else. I agree that everybody should keep their hands to themselves, but it doesn't always happen that way. And the thing is that the fact that she said something to her family, now they're looking at him side-eye thinking that, okay, well, now we're going to have to be on guard because you might do this to her. not trying to
And see,
understand
And
the
also,
entire
when you get put your
scenario of
family
how this took
involved,
place in the first
often
place.
it hurts instead of helps. There's
Right.
not very many times you add people into your relationship that it actually helps you out.
yeah, true.
So you can go for advice on a situation in particular, but not say, "Hey, my man or my woman did X, Y, and Z," because they're just going to expound on that, and whatever bias they have is now inflicted on your relationship.
Mm.
And
Now,
so it makes the wound that was there bigger.
Mm-hmm.
and actually, it opens up a whole nother little box, if you will, because now the family might start provoking him, whether they actually consciously or subconsciously know it or not, to where they might actually cause him to react yet again. Because now they might be provoking him and picking at him, saying little things like, "Oh, you better not put your hand on, or you better not do this," and he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like, I have no intention on doing this. I didn't have any intention on doing what happened over there. It's
Right.
just
Yeah.
isolated incident. But the fact that they might keep bringing it up, you know how cousins and brothers and
Right. Agitating it.
sometimes sisters
When
and
I was
everything else can
younger,
be.
right? Because when I was younger, one of Sandra's cousins had told somebody I had beat some white woman, right? And
Oh boy.
I was like, first of all, that ain't never happened. But now her daddy was like, "Well, you never better put your hands on my daughter." I was like, "It never happened. How did I?" So now I'm in something that I don't even got nothing to do with.
And now
Right.
his daddy ready to knock you upside your head. You ain't
Ready,
even
just ready. And this man ain't no small man. He's like 6 something tall. And I'm 5'9". They don't go together.
But
You
I
know?
mean, and it's funny because like y'all said, it's had now that she kind of broke it down and said what really happened, had she not said anything and kind of just let that be between her and him, especially while he was trying to get a resolve for, because she's saying it's still pending, it's not resolved yet as far as from a legal standpoint. Had she waited on the resolve, it might be to where this thing gets totally taken out and it's like it didn't even exist in the first place. So now you to put something out there, and
Mm,
then depending on the type of family that you have, if y'all break up for whatever reason or something like that, your family might go tail bearing and take it somewhere else and cause more issues for this person's life because you said something ultimately when you should have just kept it to yourself and just waited on the resolution that he needed to come to anyway. Because if it's still legal and it's still pending on him trying to get this rectified, it, like I said, it may go away. And now he's got a whole tainted
Got a
record
scarlet letter on him.
from, yeah, a civil, it's civil, if you will. Now you got a civil record
mm,
from your people judging him, and now they may go and say it to the wrong person, and it may cause other issues in his life that would have never manifested had you not said something. Because if that gets into the wrong hands or into the wrong ears, it could cause him problems in his professional life and everything.
hmm
And sometimes we say things that get stuck with somebody. I would hate for somebody to judge me on who I was at 19 years old. I would hate for them to judge me who I was at 23 years old.
Hmm.
But you tell them something that happened to me when I was 23 years old. That's who I am.
Hmm.
If I was a thief at 23, I'm a thief at 42, you know? And
And
so,
that's not always true, because that's where evolution comes in. You could have matured and become a totally different person in between that almost 20-year gap. I mean, God, can I get some self development, self improvement, some growth in between that time?
and some people can be the worst for somebody. Some people can bring the worst out of you. You meet somebody who brings the
mm.
Right,
worst out of you. And then, but
right,
this person who you're currently with brings the best out of you.
right.
I had a couple friends that were married, and they definitely brought the worst out of each other,
Hmm.
horribly so.
Mhm.
And that happens. And you could literally meet somebody and they just not a good fit for. And sometimes somebody in your family not liking somebody is an indication of what's to come.
And the fact
Mhm.
that her mom stayed in the house, it just made the disrespect even worse because, of course, she would always throw her 2 cents in. So now, not only was he and his wife at times disrespecting each other, but now he's also disrespecting the mother
And
because
you
she
gotta see
respect him.
how the person reacts around their family. Some
Yeah.
people are real cool away from their family. You ever get that? See, that got that cousin who cool by themselves, but they go around the family, they acting all funny.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to look at the person you're getting with. If they go around their family and they acting all funny now, you want to watch that too, because who is this person really?
Yeah. And why you gotta and why you changing when you get around your people? What's that all about?
Mm-hmm.
So who's the real you? So which is the person am I digging? Am I digging a fake you, or which one is it?
And
You
see,
know?
it's the whole situation, with the guy, back to the initial person that sent the message, the whole situation with him kind of made me really think about what y'all were saying. Does he just have some kind of inordinate attachment to maybe his mom? And that's the person that he's struggling with letting go, because like you said, he may have easily very well had one of those relationships where his mom has been his woman for quote unquote all these years, and now there's another woman in the picture, and Mom Dukes just ain't having it. She's not trying to share her baby with nobody's daughter.
And you know people who are oversensitive about their mamas.
Yeah.
Then you can't say nothing about their mamas. Hey, can
Yeah.
you tell your mama to pass the bacon? What you mean talking about my mama passing the bacon? Get your own bacon.
Yeah, just crazy.
I have seen people literally that sensitive. You ain't got no reason to put my mama's name in your mouth. I just asked.
They banging over bacon, huh?
I just asked your mama to pass me a slice of ham and cheese.
But I have seen people, and I'm exaggerating, but I have seen people that serious. Hey, you ask your mama, I'm saying, like, not to do that. I'm not comfortable with that. Why are you saying something? Because I'm saying it to you, because that's your mama, and I'm trying to be respectful, but it still ends up on you. It's like about talking about somebody's woman.
Hold on, Miss Such and Such. Can I get a glass of water or something else? Why are you flirting with my mama?
What? I asked your mama for a glass of water. Ain't nobody flirting with your mama. Your mama is definitely not my type, okay?
It's the reason I say I'm only responsible for what I said, not for what you wanted to.
I tell my boys all the time that we stick together, but I also tell them ultimately you got to go. When we come and saying they can be 42 one day, I want them to call me on the phone. I want to be there for them, but I can't be their everything. A family cannot be they're there to help, to assist. What happens to a bird when they get to a certain age? What does a mama bird do? Kicks them out the nest. The mama bird's still around, they still be there, but you got to fly on your own.
Right.
So if we're sitting there, it takes a village, but the village ain't gonna take somebody who's not providing for the village. If you can't make no shoes or make no mud bricks, you ain't got nothing to do for us.
Mud bricks.
All right, mud bricks.
You make mud bricks.
You done went back into the Stone Age on us now? Mud bricks?
I'm thinking about biblical time. They had to do something. They herd some sheep. You know what I'm saying?
Jason,
mud bricks.
Mud bricks.
What is mud bricks?
I don't know, but that's his new nickname.
You make a little mold, you dry it out in the sun, mud brick. Y'all act like y'all never thought about this stuff before. I'm not the only one.
You are the only one. Ain't nobody did that with no mud bricks. We don't even know the mud bricks.
How do you think they made the houses back in the day? Have you watched the History Channel? They had
I watch the History Channel.
Yes, I'll be watching the History Channel.
The old Adobe bricks stuff. Yeah.
So Jason, you got some mud bricks over there? Did you make it?
No, but I know what he's talking about.
See, everybody got to provide. It's like going to a potluck. You go to the
Coffee,
potluck.
Sometimes
everybody
just gotta smile and agree. Just
smile and agree.
Everybody brings something to the potluck. If you don't bring nothing to the potluck, look, Chandra, you know something about some mud bricks.
We should have had Chandra on the show tonight with y'all too.
You know about these mud bricks.
Oh, that's funny.
So now that this young lady has put her guy out there, now she's put him in a space where everybody knows his business. Now he's trying to deal with the civil aspect of people judging him, not just the judicial system. How can she rectify this to get him in her family's good graces?
She's going to have to. She started it. She needs to be the one to finish it. She needs to have that uncomfortable conversation, because she's going to probably end up having to check somebody in her family and be like, look, when I told you that was not for you to judge him. I was just having a conversation about my dude. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. However, you took that and you ran with it. So it's on her to have that uncomfortable conversation and fix that with that family member in terms of how they view him. Now, what he can do is continue just being righteous, and hopefully that's what he's been doing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Carrying himself
I
with a
mean,
good posture.
for
You know,
him to be fighting this thing, I would suspect that he has been being righteous. If
right.
he's attempting to fight, the assumption and all that kind of stuff and getting that rectified, I would assume that you got to be walking the straight and narrow if you're going before the courts trying to get your
Yeah.
name cleared.
But if she
So
won't, since she said it and it caused a problem, if she won't step up and do what she needs to do to fix the way that they view him, then she a turd anyway, and you just need to go and flush it.
yeah,
She needs to do the 21-90-day rule, right?
what's the 21-90 day?
Right. So she messed it up. I'm saying with this one sentence that made 21 days. So 21 days makes a habit. 90 days to change your life. So you have to go on the Tyrone World Tour. I'm saying, and for 21 days, sing his praises. So now it's a habit that now they're thinking, oh, he's such a nice guy. On 90, it's a new way
Okay,
of life, and he's great.
I see what you're saying. So basically, you praising him and you speaking so highly and edifying him all the time to the point to where they end
It
up
kind of flushes out the defect.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, kind of like paying me on Google. Every time you Google a name, my name's gonna come up first. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
like
saying?
such
So
a
at
great
some
person.
point, no matter what I say, it's gonna be right because I paid to be number one.
Yeah, it's gonna be you change the narrative. Every time you turn
Correct.
around, you change the
And that's all
narrative.
I'm
Like
saying. Yeah. You're gonna have to change the
they're like,
narrative.
But that makes sense. So I hope she's still on this live or she on one of these platforms still watching. Because
Right.
that makes sense for her to change the trajectory of their perception of him to now every time you have something to say about him, it's all optimistic stuff
yeah,
And
it's
to
if
where
she
like,
is
they
on
get a
this,
whole different
and
view
if
of
they
who he
ask you
is.
about that topic, put it in a positive light. Oh, that person did him so wrong. It's getting, I'm saying it's thrown out. I'm saying I'm not even worried about that.
he
So
ain't did.
now
I mean, he's just the one that took the ride. He ain't
she did
touching.
him so dirty. The
Yeah.
police did him so dirty.
It's just
So
him being.
now
They threw him in the car. I mean, it's just they always remove the man. They don't ever. They hardly ever kick the woman out the house. They always make us leave.
they
That's true.
never make
You
the
know what I'm
woman
saying?
leave.
Even if they're the ones hitting us, most of the time, what do? Make us leave.
Or they be like, you
But
going to jail. I didn't even hit them.
right.
You going to
But
jail.
sister girl, if you are on here and you're listening and everything else, I meant what I said. I mean, if you're not willing to step up and fight for your guy, and he's obviously fighting to be in your life, seeing that you caused this discomfort, then it's time for you to step up. And you
Yeah.
need to fix this straight up. I
And
mean, if
also,
you care
if
about
you
him
make
like
a
you say
mistake,
you
you got to
do,
be willing to fix
because
it.
I'm
You got to
assuming
be
you
willing to
must be
fix any
with this guy
mistake.
that you care about him if he's willing to stay and stick around, even though you've caused this discomfort and he's decided to stay with you and still go around your family and stuff. Then it's on you to fix it.
And
Step up,
she
have
definitely needs to
a
apologize.
full conversation and fix it. Do what you
Yes.
got to do, whatever it takes.
And she needs to apologize to him for that.
Correct.
For sure.
She
You
needs to
need to
become
definitely,
Barbara the Builder.
Let's buy it. But I mean, the thing is that you
yeah,
can't
'cause
you can't tell somebody else how to react off of something that you said. So I'm
right,
pretty sure you probably didn't mean any malice by it, but
right,
they took it negatively, and now it's on you to fix.
And you got
right.
to be careful what you tell other people. Like you and your mate need to have a
Mm-hmm.
discussion what they're comfortable sharing, what they're not comfortable sharing. You have to be somewhere in the
Mm-hmm.
middle. I'm probably oversensitive. I don't want nobody to know anything about me, but that's probably too far. But then you got to meet because they have, like you said,
Well, we
the
already
family's
know
a
you're
part of your life.
crazy. We know you're crazy. Everybody know that.
Oh, that's common knowledge. But like there has to be like a middle ground. Like, if they're that close to their family, yes, you want them to be able to talk to their family about certain subjects. But also you got to respect your mates about where they want to draw that line.
Well, see, that's a whole nother conversation that it sounds like they need to have about, where the line in the sand is drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What is acceptable and what is not acceptable. They need to get that taken care of now if they decide they're going to stay together. So obviously they're still together. And if they're going to really make this work, they need to go to the line in the sand. This is what we will talk about with our family, friends, whoever. And this is just what's not acceptable as far as outside public communication. This is just not acceptable in any circumstances that we divulge this type of information to friends and family. This is what crosses the line. And that line, if that line gets crossed at any time, then you're asking for a dissolved relationship, period.
And
Because
you
it's not
gotta be
acceptable.
careful. Everybody needs somebody to vent to and talk to, but whoever you vent and talk to needs to be a positive outlet
Well,
in
they
your.
got to have some integrity. You got to be dealing with people. If you're going to be venting and releasing privileged information, if you will, kind of like lawyer client privilege type information, you got to be very aware of who your audience is. Whoever's on the receiving end of that information, they can really cause harm to come to you from those different conversations. So you just got to be meticulous in who you're communicating with in the first place. Like you need to be very aware of this person's integrity level, because some
Or they can
people,
just pay me and I'll coach them through any situation, you know.
Or you can use my method, and sometimes I'm my own damn consultant.
yeah, I mean, or if it's something that you feel like you really got to share and it's something that's could be detrimental to you long term, but it's not going to harm somebody else, then you may want to find a counselor to confide in instead of a civilian, because they have an oath that they can't forfeit their oath as long as it's not something where it's life threatening, where you harm somebody else and you just never told nobody you killed Jack's little brother, something crazy like that. Other than that, if it's something that you just need to release in safety, then you probably need to go to a person who has taken an oath to be integrous and quiet about your sugar honey iced tea, pretty much. Because if it's somebody that you, and a lot of times what ends up happening with relationships, people dissolve relationships and then all they sugar honey iced tea come out with the dissolution.
Mhm.
So
All that
sometimes
security's
it's
gone away.
just not a good idea. If it's something that could come back to bite you in your behind, you may need to keep it to yourself. Like Jason said, you might need to be consulting with me, myself, and I publications, because
And
it may not be the best
period.
idea to tell other people, because people can hold some stuff against you, and it can be really ugly when it comes out.
And there's a thin line between love and hate. When they love you,
Yeah, yeah. When they
they
love you,
got
they love you. When they hate you, they hate.
all your business. Now you a ugly so and so.
Right.
Remember that time you did so and so and so and so? They telling everybody and they mama.
And all your business is out there, and then it's something that is just really, 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 really bad. Something really, really, really bad, and you got to sit up here trying to clean up a mess that somebody else made because they just wanted to be nasty. And I've seen that too many times, where somebody just wanted to be nasty, and then they turn around and cause some dysfunction in your life that had you not said nothing. And it kind of brings me to the situation with this guy and this girl. I mean, no offense to her, but I'm thinking in my brain, you probably shouldn't have told her nothing until you actually got done with dealing with this situation. If it's an open situation and it wasn't going to bring harm to her, he probably should have just kept his darn mouth closed until he got it rectified.
Was just a
Yeah, he's
little.
trying to look for somebody to comfort. He's looking for comfort in this
That's what I'm saying.
situation.
That was pillow talk. Yeah, or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's looking
I
for
mean, if you
comfort, and so
going to confide in them, but when that person that you confided in starts to share information themselves,
and it makes me wonder. Like I'd be looking at her sideways, like, okay, I'm coming to you for comfort, but
right?
you ain't over here. So can you be my comfort? So is this going to work?
Right.
Message.
Right.
Because I can't tell you, something on the down low and you not share with your mama. That's another thing. Like, I'm one of these people who got a problem with somebody's family. Do they live with their family?
Or is it the kind of, or is the female or the guy the kind of person that they just can't hold water?
That too.
Because if they're that kind of person, they got to tell everything, and that's not going to be good on either side.
Because if a man he gets in an argument with his woman, he's the first place he runs to his mama house. Like, or she's 40 years old and still living with her mom and dad. I'm looking at him weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, because you have never been a full grown adult.
Yeah.
You've never stepped out on your own.
Still writing your name on the milk.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
you still paying rent to your mama house.
I can't stand y'all.
Still driving around in a pink car with fuzzy dice in the window.
We cool.
With what?
Girl.
With the what in the window?
They riding around in a pink car with fuzzy dice in the window. You know, all you 20-year-old women walking around with the pink dice in the window.
Pink dice in the window. Yes, I
See,
remember that. I remember
this is
that.
what I mean. It's like you have to. How can I expect you to support me when you can't support yourself?
And once I confide in you, go telling and creating issues and stuff, then I'm probably not going to confide in you again for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And see that also causes problems because at some point you want to be able to have that pillow talk with your person to be able to say, hey, I need to let my hair down with you. And this should be sacred ground to where when we have these conversations, they never leave this particular presence ever. Under no circumstances will nobody know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So if you cannot not tell your family, once again, this is a red flag. And how many red flags do you need until you say, you know what, this it's not you, it's me.
Yeah. You said it's not you, it's
In
me.
this case, it needs to be him saying, it's not me, it's you, boo-boo.
Yeah.
It's
and I gotta go. I
don't even want to say that I gotta go, because I mean, if he really likes it, then they can work it out. But it's like there gotta be a line drawn in the sand, and you do not cross that line. Okay, you said that one thing, and it caused me discomfort.
But I tell you what, if he's a smart man, he's gonna be very, very, very meticulous in what he divulges to her.
Absolutely.
Going forward, period.
So, boo-boo, if you listening, you the one that shut that door. Not door.
My boo-boo.
You gotta sit there because you gotta sit there and wonder these things. You gotta sit there and think about it. You know, like what are you causing by going to your family? What is it? Is your family add to you or do they subtract?
And you know, and sometimes you don't really know your family until this type of conflict arises. Because if you've been in relationships before and that conflict has never been present, you wouldn't know how they were going to respond to it anyway.
Mm-hmm. You know how they're going to solve. You know how they acted some way down the line. They looked at somebody wrong. They did something wrong, and you knew how they were going to respond.
But it's different if it's in your family versus somebody on the outside. If it's not been an outsider that something has happened with, then you can't really say how they're going to respond to an outsider. If my cousin Lil been acting stupid since he was 12, yeah, we're going to talk about Billy all the time because every time I turn around, he's doing something he ain't got no business. But if this is an outside guy and you've never had a history of dating anybody with infractions or issues, there is no telling how the family's going to respond.
But if they're going to treat little Billy like that and that's family, how they going to treat Leroy?
Little Billy keep getting in trouble though. That's the point. Little Billy
gonna get in trouble. If your son kills somebody tomorrow, you're gonna be like, my baby never would do that, and that's my baby. If little Leroy down the street kills somebody, throw that sucker under the jail. It all depends. It really does. So you gotta sit there and look how they treat somebody, because the family's gonna get away with more than somebody a stranger is. Because me personally, baby. That's your baby.
That's my baby.
I'm just saying you have to draw the line. Who ultimately, if a person cannot, make a sacrifice for me to be with me, and vice versa, I'm going to wonder what kind of relationship we're going to have. Your family has to be over here. I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm not saying kick them to the curb. But if you cannot choose me, why am I going to choose you?
Sure.
Yeah, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door, especially after we start getting to a certain, level.
I was at a wedding one time, right? I was at a wedding one time where the dad told her, hey, if this don't work, come on back here. So basically, the dad was saying, hey, man, when this is over, because this is going to end, you can come on back to daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And that set the tone off on the wrong foot.
And that screwed up the whole relationship right there. You basically told me I was gonna fail.
Or it's okay if it fails.
You know what I'm saying? So where basically, hey, you know what? If he don't do something you want him to do, just come on over here. I'll take care of it.
Right. It's okay to fail. It's like, it's okay to fail. We're here. Or they put little sabotages in there. Well, and when I was your age, I had to leave my ex-husband because X, Y, and Z.
And they ain't got nothing to do with that.
But they put it in there.
You was crazy and he was crazy. That's why
because they want you to be in the same level as them. And you always got to think about that. Your family wants you to be on the same level as they are. Most people don't want you to be above them, even when it's your family. You go around my family, I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna talk about you. My whole family gonna talk about you. They don't care. You can be a millionaire, they gonna talk about you. That's how I know they are. Just because I'm different does not make them, they are who they're going to be. And we can love them, but we cannot change them.
True.
The question is, how mad are they gonna get when I start talking back?
Uh-oh. That part.
Oh, my family, they're gonna be the same way. They're gonna be like, oh man, this little such and such. I know.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
I'm saying my wife is way different than my family. And I told them how they were going to be when she showed up. And I said, how are they? Exactly how you said they were going to be. I told you. I told you. So don't be surprised. But I'm not going to sit there and not take, I'm saying my booby over them. That makes no sense.
True.
Because I'm going to be lonely, sad, calling Pete Koffe in the middle of the night.
No, that won't be happening. You're going to have to do not disturb ministries.
I'm going to be like, yo, P, you told me to choose my family. No, I ain't got nobody to talk to.
I can't stand here. Well, y'all, it is at the top of the hour. And as always, we have had a fantastic conversation. You love them, but they family don't like you. How do you deal with it? We've had some interesting ideas and concepts about this particular topic. And as always, we've had fun with our incredible panelists, our ongoing co-panelists, if you will, host Jason Thibodeau and Dr. Adrian Woods have been in the building on tonight. So, of course, guys, you'll be able to tap in with us on next week for another intriguing and interesting topic, as usual. Something juicy always happens around here on the hot seat. But until next time, grace, peace, and blessings to everybody. And we will see you guys again next week. Good night, good people.
Be good.